I love when people comment on me on social media and they're like, oh, all she did was wreck. It's like, well, number one, I actually had the longest streak of running at the finish in IndyCar. Like I don't remember where it ended up, but it was something like maybe 50 or so in a row where I was under my own power at the checkered flag. That was a record. I don't know if it still stands. I have no idea, but like I didn't crash in IndyCar very often. In NASCAR, I crashed a lot more because I got crashed a lot more.
See, I agree with that.
I crashed more, but I also was collected in crashes more because there's just a lot more crashing, you know, especially super speedways and stuff like that. Like, and the crashes, because everyone's running closer. In IndyCar, you can't run that close. It's just, you can't. And in stock cars, you can. So when one spins, it collects 6 really easily. So a lot of times there's just nowhere to go. Yeah. So, you know, there's generally just a lot more crashing in NASCAR. More than anything, I do think people were, I don't think people want to be beat by a girl. And you know why? Because I didn't want to get beat by a girl.
Yeah.
I absolutely know how it feels because I didn't see myself that way. So I like saw myself as like a winner and like a guy and really competitive and really good. And I didn't want to get beat by a girl. I know, call me like a hypocrite or chauvinistic or whatever, like but I didn't want to get beat by a girl, so I know how they feel.
Because you are the girl. You're you know, Madonna said, I'm a badass bitch, I'm number one. And I understood because I grew up in that environment, you know, where look, we're the best, there's nobody better than me, stop challenging me. So you are Danica Patrick, you are the leader of the pack, and how dare another girl try to challenge me?
Yeah. And I think that I don't know why. I guess I think because no girl was ever really very competitive against me. So I just had the idea that I was the one. Like it was, I don't know. Like
because what you just said is the way all racers think. I'm the greatest. Why are you racing me?
I knew I was. I know I'm not the greatest. I know that. Like that's very, I'm honest about that. But I felt like I was by far the best girl. And so,
well, you are.
And mostly because I just never really raced against them. A little bit in go-karting, but I just always won and always beat them. And so, or it wasn't even close. And so I guess anytime there was a moment where I felt like where someone or a girl was passing me or beating me in a scenario, it just felt like so, it was so rare that it made me think like, holy crap, what's going on? Okay. So maybe that's how they feel all the time because I was competitive a lot.
Man, you're good at what you do because you've led me right into it. I want to say this, okay, because I can ask this question 100 different ways. 100 guys show up at a racetrack and you find one that is the best. Mm-hmm. You can't even get 100 girls.
Yeah, this is what this little is this your example or are you saying my example?
It's your example.
Okay, yeah.
I'm taking so your word.
Right?
Okay, so you created a firestorm. Stupid. I mean, you're right. They're dumb. You said you said racing is not normal for the feminine mind. I understood what you said.
Yeah.
And then all the Formula One people, in my opinion, it was F1 people, they attacked you. How dare she say a woman cannot be a man? Now listen, my wife, Kim, she doesn't want to be a guy. She doesn't want to race. I understood what you said.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that firestorm in Formula One.
Thank you. And thanks for defending me. You always, and you defend me a lot. I don't think that you do it just because you're going to defend me no matter what. I think that you're just willing to say it, you know, and I appreciate that. And I hope that, you know, if I'm ever wrong, feel free to call that out too. But what I meant was that I remember talking to I was like with a bunch of girlfriends and I described like aggression and like how I feel even just on the regular road. If a car tries to push their way in or do anything on the regular road, like I go into like crazy aggressive, oh, hell no, that's not happening. And I'll make a spot where there wasn't a spot because they were being a jerk just to like make a point.
It's my area.
And care zero for the fenders of my car whatsoever. Like, and I'm just on the regular road.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, my line is, I'm like, they always lift, you know, like they don't want to crash. And so this is like all my friends, I was kind of explaining this dynamic, and they're like, yeah, we don't think like that. Like they're all like, yeah, no, that's not normal. Like to think in that level of aggression of like stealing that spot or pushing your way in, or, you know, whatever that thing is that you have to do to make a point. So it was through that and a couple other scenarios where I was like, it's just like the way my mind works is not a natural way for a woman's mind to work, who is normally it's more caretaking, neurotic, like careful, like not wanting confrontation, not wanting, not wanting to be aggressive, and almost even not wanting to be competitive. Like I have a couple of friends where there's just like not a competitive bone in their body. They don't want to be in that scenario. They don't want to, like, they do yoga because it's just like non-competitive, you know? And so they don't even like competition. And I think competition is such a masculine thing. I think guys love to compete at everything, and generally speaking, and these are all generalities. There's always fringe in everything.
But it's more
what I'm saying is, like, I'm a fringe, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not possible. A girl can't think like this and do this. But what's interesting is along the way, every now and again, I'll hear from someone. They're like, have you heard of this girl? I'm like, no. And they're like, she's got that thing. Like, she's got that thing like you do. She's like, really, you know, it's identifiable when someone is different. And when they're like, they have that level of confidence and aggression that it takes to like really believe that they can do it. And I just think it's less of a female brain and more of a male brain.